Greetings, Glitter Gang, and happy Thursday. Welcome back to Kathryn Scraps Live. I'm Kathryn, and today I'm going to be working on the book club journal. So these are the tags that we made in the last episode to go, well, these are the cards we made to go on the tags. These are the mats for the tags. I have, I think, 18 of them here. There may be room for more, quite honestly. There probably is, but you know, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I have those to work on. And then also, these are the stat cards that we also designed, and all the downloads for these are in the archives. So if you have access to the archives, you have access to these downloads. And they're all in there, both for 13 by 19 and 8.5 by 11, whichever kind of printer you have. Now, if you have an 8.5 by 11 printer with these, you will have to piece them together, but I have divided it in such a way that they overlap so that you can do a Franken paper on that. So you can do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by inking these, I think, and taping them and getting them stuck down so that the matting is done, at least as far as the inserts go, and then we can do a recording break and get to work on the tags. So, going to use Distress ink in pumice stone. That's a nice warm gray that goes well with this paper collection, and that's what I've been using throughout. I hope you all have had wonderful days, afternoons, evenings, mornings, whatever you have experienced up until watching this show. I am ready for bed for some reason, so we'll see if I make it all the way to the end of this show. And now I'm going to tape, and I'm just going to use 1/4 inch tape. That'll be good enough. Wow, I can't get my tape bracelet started. All right, here we go. And I am going to do a tape chain for these since they are the same size. And you are able to get all, well, they're not the same size. I cut one of them shorter for some reason. You are able to get all of them from one sheet of 13 by 19 paper. I may trim this one so that it's the same height as these two. I might have just forgotten to trim it, because you only need to trim about 1/4 inch. So I could just have not trimmed it and thought that I had. That's entirely possible. Because they need to be about 12 3/4, and these are 12 3/4, these two. So this one is just not trimmed. I just didn't trim it. I just did not. Did not. Mystery solved. And because these are just so long, I am gonna, and there are magnets and things, I am gonna put tape in the middle as well. All right, now let me burnish these two. And yeah, see, they're the same size. So I just am gonna line this one kind of up with them and then trim with a ruler. And if you're doing this at home, you just want to trim 1/4 inch up from the top of the January and 1/4 inch down from the bottom of that line will get you close enough. Yeah. All right. So I'll finish taping, and then we will be good to stick these down, and then we can do a recording break and start working on the tags. Do a few tags. And then, well, then I don't know what we'll do. What will we do? I guess we have to do the wrapper, whatever is going to go decorate the outside of the wrapper. All right. So we just have to separate these two. And then we can do it. All right. Now we'll stick everybody down. Get stuck down, everyone. Stuck to your page. All right. And if you don't have access to the archives and you would like access to the archives, I always have a link in the video description when you're watching live, or if you're watching a recording on YouTube, it will be in the video description on YouTube as well. Link down below. You can get access to archives for as little as $5 a month, and you can cancel anytime. So if there's just like one thing that you want, you can pay for $5, cancel, and then you have your month to download whatever you want to download. And you can just explore all the files that are in there while you have your month of access. So if you want to see how past projects were decorated, or get downloads from previous Scrappy Bowl projects that are in there, all kinds of goodies. There's tons of projects in there that have the measurements included. if you want to take notes. So there's a lot going on in the archives. To be enjoyed. And last one. Okay, so those are all matted. Wonderful. So, I was going to do a recording break, but that only took 10 minutes. So I don't think I will do a recording break. I think we'll move right into tags. Okay, so tags. Tags are going to be 4.5 by 7.5. Anytime we're dealing with measurements of 4.5 by 7, anytime your tag, your mat, whatever, the measurements of the two sides adds up to 12 or less, then you can do a 5 by 7 pinwheel. So in this case, it's the 4.5 by 7.5 inch pinwheel. So we will put our piece at 4.5 and we will cut up to 4.5, turn, put it back at 4.5, cut up to 4.5, turn, put it back at 4.5, cut up to 4.5, turn, put it back at 4.5, cut all the way to the top. And that gives me 4.5 inch by 7.5 inch mats. Whereas if I tried to cut them out of one sheet of cardstock, I would only be able to get 3 if I didn't do this pinwheel. I'm going to just now check and see if any of my scraps are big enough. That we've got quite a pile of scraps that aren't big enough. These ones are. These ones are. These ones, these are, these. I think these maybe. No, these are too short. And those are long enough. So I showed you the pinwheel, but mostly I want to just cut these out of my scraps from other parts of the project. So I'm going to cut as many scraps as I can to 7.5 by 4.5. And that way, because we did have so many big scraps left over from other parts of the project. This makes me feel a little bit better about all my scraps that I have left over. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and those there. Now this next batch, I'm pretty sure these are already 4.5. Yeah. So these just need to be cut to 7.5 and they'll be ready to go. And if you have been working on this project along with me, you probably have similar sized scraps. So you can probably get a lot of mats, well, tags out of your scraps. All right, so that's a good start. But I did show you the pinwheels, so even if you don't have a lot of scraps for one reason or another, you can get your scraps out. So these look like very small pieces. I'm just going to leave out because I'm going to make tag reinforcers from them. Hey, sweetie, how are ya? For my pieces. And the way that you, well, I'll show you tag reinforcers later. All right, so let's, all right. Now, okay, next, we're going to prep these. So at the top, I'm going to use 1-inch tape, and I'm going to put 1-inch tape across the top, and then I'm going to put that 1-inch tape before I chomp them. That way, when I punch this hole and when I chomp these corners into tags, the tape will be completely edge to edge covered. So, except maybe I don't have 1-inch tape anymore. Why, hello. Hello, ma'am. How are you? How are you this evening? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to use 3/4 inch tape because I don't appear to have 1-inch tape, but 3/4 inch tape should work just as well. Hi, kitty. And these print 6 to a sheet if you print the 13 by 19, and they print 2 to a sheet if you print the 8.5 by 11. Hi. Hello. Oh. You're purring. Purr, purr, purr. You a happy kitty? You a happy kitty? Oh, please. Okay. I'll just keep taking. Yep. Oh. No, that's fine. You can just put your tail in my face. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool, kitty. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, it's cool. Just put your tail in my face. Yeah, your tail, I would be in deep trouble. Deep trouble. All right, so I'm going to do them in batches of 6. And what I'm going to do is I'll just start with these 6. And, you know, we'll make 6 and then either we'll move on to the wrapper at that point, or we will, we'll make more if you want to make more. But I think 6 will be enough to really just show you what you're doing. What a nice kitty. What a nice kitty. She's burnishing the tape for me. She's not making this part easy, but I'll do my best. Here, kitty, just get under my arm. There you go. What are you doing? Are you helping? Are you helping? You holding that down for me? All right, kitty, you're gonna have to move, kitty. You have to move, sweetie. My sweet kitty, you have to move. Okay? Can you move like over here? There you go. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, that's in your way. There you go. Okay. So I'm just going to finish taping. We'll burnish the whole thing. And then we'll start working on the tags and stuff. So, all right. There we go. So now we're going to burnish. Okay. And we're going to cut them apart. And then cut them apart again at the bottom. And then we're going to do two punches. We're going to do a punch with the tag punch to round the corners, and then we're going to do a punch with the circle punch to remove that dark circle and create a hole. Now we don't have to do the circle at this time. We can actually wait until they're stuck down to the tags, and that way we only have to punch them once. Meaning we don't have to punch a hole in the circle, so we can do that. I'm going to use the large angle punch and punch all their corners. And then we'll be inking these with the pumice stone ink and sticking them to our 4.5 inch by 7.5 inch tags. Well, it's funny because I thought about, earlier today I showed my next manicure, which is going to be tiny cat nails. And, you know, I was thinking about making kitty nails, but it's so hard because kitty's on the show more than tiny cat. But Tiny Cat's a lot easier to do because Tiny Cat's just a black cat. So, but Kitty is, you know, multicolored and striped. So it would be a lot more difficult to do a kitty nail than a Tiny Cat nail. So I think kitty nails are beyond my skills. Beyond my skills. So earlier today, I put these cards together in Photoshop. They have the title of the author and a place to write the date for the books, and then 5 starbursts down at the bottom, or explosions, so that which you can fill in with however many stars you think a book deserves. And even if you don't make this book, of course, you could use these tags to keep track of all your books for book club and put them in an envelope album, or even put a ribbon through the holes or a ring through the holes. If you did a ring, you could always add to it and keep going, going, going. All right. So when I picked these up, I noticed that these that were right on top, I didn't trim down. I'm going to trim them down. They somehow escaped. And I'm making the tags 4.5 by 7.5 because I made my mats 4.25 by 7.25. But yeah, Kitty's been spending a lot more time in the office lately, and she's been following me around the house a lot more the last few days. I don't know if she just needs more time than usual or something, but she's been a little more, I don't know. She's just been following me around a lot more. All right. So now we're going to stick this down. And we're going to do 2 punches. We're going to punch the corners, and then we will punch the circle. Okay. So there's our first tag, looking good. And then the way that we make tag reinforcers, if you want to put a tag reinforcer, is just punch a bunch of holes with your 1/4 inch hole punch all the way around a piece of your cardstock. Okay, 1/4 inch hole. And then take your 3/4 inch hole, punch, okay, and circle, center the 1/4 inch hole in the 3/4 inch hole, and just punch them all out again. And this will give you a nice little tag reinforcer. And a good way to use your scraps. Especially your scraps that are not big enough to be photo mats, this is a great way to give them some purpose. And then, if you want to, you can continue to use this sheet. You just have to cut the lines that are connecting the circles, and you can usually get a few more out of the middle. And this is a great way to really, really use up a scrap. Because there's one thing that we all have so little of, and that's crafting supplies. No one engaged in this hobby has ever accumulated anything that could be referred to as a stash or a hoard or a collection. You know, we are always constantly using up every little tiny bit and running out of supplies, you know, so we've got to just stretch, 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 stretch. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I just draw a circle with my glue around the hole. And then I set down the little piece. And then that finishes off nicely. And again, if you have the downloads, you don't even have to worry about measuring because you have that hole already there for you as a placeholder. So now what we can do is we can do mass production. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick down the remaining 5 to their tags. Then I'll do all my punching, and then I'll add my hole reinforcers. And what'll be fun is we'll be able to see what these pockets look like with things sticking out of them. Now I'll only have 6 tags when I'm done with this, so maybe we will want to do more just to get the the vibe of the book. But if we want, we can always come back to it or something. Kitty's asleep on the floor. Yeah, she's been spending a lot of time sleeping on the floor of my office. A lot of office sleepy time for Kitty. Last one. I mean, it's not the last one. I made 18. The rest are right here. But last one from this batch, and then we'll see what we want to do. Okay, so now that I've got them all here, I'm going to punch all their corners with the large angle punch. This is from We Are Memory Keepers. It's one of their corner chompers. I highly recommend it. It's great to have a nice sturdy tag punch like this. If you have this corner chomper, instead of doing your tags out of cardstock, you could do your tags out of even like a thin chipboard, a lightweight chipboard, and chomp through it. And then you could put these on a ring, like I said earlier, and they would be really sturdy then. All right, that's it for now. So now I'm going to go through and punch all of these holes with my 1/4 inch punch. Okay. Now we're going to go and go around the edge. And stick down the whole reinforcer. And we're going to do that on all of them. And last one. From this batch. And then the back is where you put your book cover. Your pictures of your book covers. Now, if you're using this as just a plain photo album, then of course you can put photos on the front and back of these pieces, because they have room for 4x6 photo on both the front and the back. All right, so let's take a look at how these are when they're actually in. So let's show you the different places that these can go. As soon as I figure out where I put the book, because I quite literally hid it from myself. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right, so places where these can go are in here. So these pockets have space for 2 of them. Okay. Which these look really cool in these pockets, I have to say. I love how like office supply-ish this looks, you know what I mean? And then they can also go in here. But I don't have enough to go all the way across. I'd have to make more. But you get the idea. And I could get, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 more in here. So 6, total of 6. But yeah, this is a really cool look for me. I always love office supply type looks. So I'm really enjoying this and how this turns out. All right, so those are the tags. Should I do, I'll do another round of tags. I'll do one more round of tags since we still have 20 minutes until 10 o'clock, halfway through. So I'll do another round of tags. We'll do another 6 or so. All right. Oh. I don't have 6. What? Whatever. I'll just do all the rest of them then. I don't know. I don't know. I thought I had 18. I don't know where I'm lost some of them. I don't know. Whatever. It's cool. It's cool. We'll just make a tape bracelet and do our thing. Now, remember, you can download these cards. You can use these cards if you want to. They are available in the archives. Or you can make your own. Get creative with it. Or you can just do photos. I wonder if I missed some of these when I was cutting them out. Kitty. Kitty, do you have my stuff? Do you have stuff for me? She doesn't. She says no. She says no. She doesn't have anything for me. I'm on my own. Oh well. Yay! I'm so happy that it looks so cool. Love, love, love anything that looks like it could come from a Staples. So, maybe that's something that's part of the progression. Like when you're younger, you're really into stationery and school supplies and office supplies, and then you graduate to crafting and hoarding paper. Not that any of you hoard paper, like I said before. I know you're all using every single scrap up, before you buy more. You know, but some people, I've seen the memes. I know that some people hoard craft supplies. So. Sometimes your tape bracelet is too long. Gretchen says, does spreading it out on your table and flipping through it count as using it? Sure. You know what? I think it can. It can count. Why not? I'm Empress of the world. There's no democracy, so if I say it counts, it counts. Oh, it's called the planning phase of the project, Bev says. See? There you go. You're in the planning phase of the project. You're definitely working at that point. I sent all of the National Scrapbook Day gift cards out, by the way. And when I was buying all the gift cards for everyone at all the different stores that they requested, I was like, man, I should just shop. All these stores look yummy. I haven't bought, because one of my things is I have been pretty bad about using up my supplies, so I'm trying not to bring more physical supplies into the house. Now, unfortunately, that kind of translated into me using a bunch of digital stuff rather than me using up my physical stuff. So fail, you know, definite like fail there. But, you know, baby steps, baby steps. So at least I haven't brought more physical stuff into the house. So yeah, Melanie says, I don't hoard paper. I prepare for emergencies like lockdowns. Yeah. Crazy Ladies Craft says, yours fits on the table. Do you mean my tape bracelet? Yeah, my desk is pretty big. I think 4 feet by 6 feet. Something like that. This black mat is 2 feet by 3 feet. So I guess my desk is like 3 feet by 5 feet. Oh, she means Gretchen's hoard fits on the table. Gretchen's like, no, just the most recent acquisition fits on the table. I remember back when I used to live in an apartment and all of my craft supplies fit in like one of those art bin totes. Melanie's giving me pro tips. She's like, you said you weren't going to bring any more stuff into the house, but you could put it in the car and still keep that promise. I was a much simpler crafter back then, so that's part of it. Because that was back when I only did 12 by 12 for the most part. And, you know, if I went somewhere and did something extra fun, I would print the pictures and then I would craft a layout and then that would be it. That's what I would do. But man, did it explode from there. Did it not stay there at all. You know how finance people talk about like being careful that you don't get lifestyle creep? Like I feel like I have whatever the crafting version of lifestyle creep is. Maybe it's just lifestyle creep. Yeah, exactly. You need new and improved tools, new techniques that require new supplies. But if you had talked to 2005 Kathryn and asked her if she thought it would be reasonable to spend $1,000 on a printer so she could print her own paper at home, she probably would have like laughed you out of whatever time machine room you were in talking to her. She would have been like, no, it's completely insane. Who would do that? I mean, she thought owning a Cricut was outrageous or a die machine was outrageous when you could just go to the local scrapbooking store and use theirs. So, what an innocent babe she was. So, yeah. Gretchen says her new town rec center has a maker area and she's wondering if they're going to have crafting machines. My library has a maker area and it does have crafting machines, including a 3D printer, which I think is really interesting. Don't even bring up Copics. Oh my gosh, Copics! Ah! The ultimate lifestyle creep. Yeah, if you had asked 2005 Kathryn hemmed and hawed about whether or not to buy a $45 set of Zig markers. 2021 Kathryn has probably 100 Copics. I don't want to count them because I don't want to know if I have a lot more than 100, you know? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I'm like, this set of 60 markers is all the colors I'll ever need, but it's $45 for the whole set. What an innocent, sweet summer child. 2021 Kathryn could be like, one day you'll spend $45 on 4 markers and you'll think that you got a deal. 2005 Kathryn would have been like, what on earth? What on earth? Oh, so now, okay, people are sharing. So 1998 Gretchen didn't want to spend $30 on a guillotine cutter because she could use the one at work. Now I wish I'd bought 3 of them. Yeah. Jill says, weren't we all so innocent? Yeah, I mean, I had a whole class on, and I mean, it was a series that I did. I would say, probably 7, 8 years ago now, where I showed you how to, if you didn't like a piece of paper, how you could use your art supplies to change it into a different piece of paper that you liked more. You know, like I had a whole thing, you know, I mean, well, never mind. I was going to say I was probably more creative back then, but it's not that I was. My creativity is more in the construction zone now. So. Yeah, Pat, our library just opened. Our library, we have 2 libraries. They're very close to each other. They're maybe like half a mile apart. And I think it's because the one got too small for the area. and you know, there was too much demand or whatever, and basically what was happening is pretty much everyone in my area was going to this library that was like 10-15 minutes away called the South Shore Library, and we were using all their stuff. So the Friends of the Library just built a similar makerspace library near us. And it was under construction when the illness started, and it finished construction during the lockdown, and now it's open. And I took my mom to see it, and it looks like the makerspace part of it is not open. So just the, you know, book section is open. So maybe they don't want to clean those machines like over and over and over again, or they don't have a protocol for how to deal with that or what. But you can go in the library and you can check out books, but you can't use but they even have a filming studio with like green screens and lighting and cameras and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be really cool once they all have a recording studio for music and editing software and computers for video and music editing. So it'll be cool once it's you know. But yeah, that'll be. But this happens with a lot of hobbies. Like golf is a hobby that definitely it's like I gotta have the newest driver, glove, shirt, shoe, etc. The newest gear. Or people who are really into audio, video stuff, you know, gotta always be upgrading the speakers. Got to get the newest golf cart. All right, so now that they're all stuck down, I'm going to come back through with a large angle punch. The new library is really nice, though. It has like a Key West kind of vibe, like an old Florida look. And nothing's that old in Florida, but you know. Eddie Izzard has a funny bit about visiting Miami and people showing off buildings and saying, and this was restored to how it was 70 years ago. And oh, very impressive. It's like, yeah, roosters in the road, exactly. All right, and then once you've chomped the corners, you can go back through and punch the circles. Our neighbors are moving. The neighbors that we are on the corner lot, so we have neighbors behind us and neighbors to one side, and then on the other side of the house there are no neighbors. And they were telling Damien that they want to move because it's the seller's market and they've been in the house a decent chunk of time. So, you know, and we were like, but then you would have to buy another house, and it's still a seller's market though, man. But they said no, they're just going to rent. So, never mind. So, hopefully the people who move in next door like half painted houses, because you know, our house is still not painted. So we've now gotten 2 violation letters from the HOA. Maybe you should cover your house with scrapbooking paper. Well, I said I was going to go out one night and just paint a bunch of like graffiti on the side of the house, and then maybe, you know, maybe they would really do something. But then I was afraid someone would have like a ring or something and it would catch me and they would know it was me. So, and then I'd have to paint it because I vandalized it or something. You're not the owners. What are they going to do? Put a lien on the cat? Well, that's why, I mean, I don't really care, you know, because even if they put a lien on the house, you know, then it's not my problem. I can move in and out if there's a lien on the house. It's just the corporation that owns it won't be able to sell it, you know, and they can still rent it out. I also think they don't care because they can still rent it out even if there is a $10,000 lien on the house. You know, they don't have to worry about paying that ever, really, if their plan is to just rent it out forever. Oh, they send it to Invitation Homes, care of me. So the letters are all addressed to Invitation Homes. That's the Wall Street company that owns my house, which I think is either is or used to be a BlackRock subsidiary. So owned by a hedge fund. I guess it's a mutual fund. Whatever. But they may have separated off from them, but I don't know if they did or not. But yeah, it's basically, you know, an investment company owns us, and they could care less. I mean, that's been our experience. They have really, really terrible ratings. It's really funny because a lot of property management companies have terrible ratings because, you know, there's not a lot of really super great landlords, okay? I'm not saying they don't exist. My parents are landlords, you know. They're not trying to cheat anyone, but like a lot of property management companies have terrible ratings. It's like really rare to see a property management or an apartment complex that has like 3 or better ratings. But in our area, Invitation Homes has a 1. Compared to other property managements, which are in the like 2.5 to 3 range. So they're like terrible for a property management company. And like they never know what's going on with anything. we got an email over the weekend that we needed to call and schedule the house painting as soon as possible. And the house painting is already scheduled. So we were like, what is this now? You know, what is this new problem? So I had to call them and like explain to them that we already had a house painting scheduled, and let them know that there was some kind of problem in their system, or did we need to reschedule it? And so then he was like, oh, well, when the maintenance guys were in the system earlier, they, instead of updating your existing house painting to reflect the new notice from the HOA, they made a new one. And it's like, okay, well, I don't care why your employees are stupid or whatever, but like, you know, it shouldn't be my job to have to constantly alert you to what's going on with your employees. And like, they had a professional painting company come out and do like a scope for the project, and then like the company decided not to have professional painters do it, so like 3 guys from the maintenance department are going to do it. I'm sure they'll do a great job. I'm sure there will be no problems. All right, so I've got all of the tags in these pockets, and then the remaining tag that I have, I'm going to go ahead and stick in here. And as far as I can tell, this is all I've got printed right now. I thought I printed more, but you know, that is what it is. So I think this is a good place to do a recording pause, a recording break, if you will. And then what we'll do is I'm going to just call the inside done. I'm assuming that you're all okay with calling the inside done. And then we can move around to the outside. So how many more tags do I need? I need 3 plus 12. So I need 15 more tags. I need 15 more tags because it's 6, 6, and then the other 3 from here. So yeah, 15. So let's do a little recording break, and well, before we do a recording break, let's do a recording break, and then I'll be back and we'll talk about what are we going to do with the outside. What are we going to do with the outside? So just if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to check the video description below to links to our social media group where you can chat with other crafters, links to the archives. If you want to watch past shows, links to the playlist that has all the rest of the videos for this project if you want to start watching from the beginning. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.